Star Wars Outlaw will not be a 300-hour epic, unfinishable RPG. Is that a good thing? Let's talk about it. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you are a regular, if you've been here before, you know us well. Welcome back. If you're new, then welcome to the channel. You should definitely stick around, you should subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Because I like Star Wars, which is what we're talking about today. Plus, we've got some big releases coming out that we're going to be playing, and we stream on here all the time. So, come, hang out, do things. Spend time with us. I swear we're kind of entertaining at times. But that's not the topic of today. We're not trying to convince you to do it. We are just talking about Star Wars Outlaws. And this article that, well, I suppose has been doing the rounds on a variety of different people, different sites, things like that, who are talking about that this game is not going to be a 300-hour RPG that you can't finish. And it begs the question whether or not that's a good thing, or is that a bad thing? I personally think it should be a kind of a bad thing, but also kind of a good thing. It's a very complicated one. The idea of a game being like 200-300 hours, you're right, it's maybe a bit much. But with like Baldur's Gate coming up, they've said that could take you like 200 hours to finish. Is that going to be a bad thing? Probably not, based on the scale of this game, not the scope of it. But with a Star Wars game, if it's an adventure game, so it's Outlaws, it's going to be an action-adventure game, it's linear. You're right, that'd be a bad thing. If you're just start here, end here, go for it. See what you can do. Run around, pew pew pew, blast as many stormtroopers or whatever enemies they give you. It's crime, I suppose. 200 hours, that's a long time. But why do game companies insist on making action-adventure games? Right? There's been a whole lot of stuff that with the success Mandalorian, whether or not that could be turned into a game. And to be honest, it actually could be turned into a game. It could be turned into a very, very good game. The Mandalorian is, in itself, an adventure story. It's kind of just a western. So you could probably turn that into a game and it'd be a lot of fun to play. But is it not better? Star Wars in itself lends itself to RPGs. Why would you not give us more? Why do you refuse to give us more? Personally, I think it would work really well. And if we address the long-standing bantha in the room, which is the female protagonist, I don't give a shit. I really don't. I don't care that they've turned around and gone, you know what, here you go, here's our main character, nice lady. I don't mind. The idea of playing as a woman is absolutely no issue. My problem with that is, if you're going to give me a Star Wars game, let me be me. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. My absolute dream would be to be able to make myself in a Star Wars game and live out my Jedi fantasy. Or Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter's actually also more likely. But you've taken that away from me by making me have to play a pre-made character. I kind of thought the same with Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. However, I was able to look past that because they did cast a ginger guy, which means I just made it look like me. I tweaked the hair, tweaked the beard, voila. Apparently I have a very generic face when it comes to characters. But that's what we did. So I don't mind. But you've taken away the ability for me to play this character that I want to design and make it look like me, and therefore play through it. You've taken that away. Not a great fan. I don't really care though that she's a woman. Who gives a shit? There's strong female characters in Star Wars all the time. But you've not made an RPG. In fact, if you've not made an RPG, it means that you're forcing me to go down a story that you're hoping will be good. And we've already seen from EA, granted it's from EA, not Ubisoft, but we've already seen from EA that they're talking about, this big grand AAA action adventure story. 20 hours for Jedi Survivor. 60 quid that game cost me, and I finished it in 3 days and have absolutely no urge to go back and play it because there's no replayability whatsoever. Star Wars lends itself to choice. Light side, dark side, crime, do whatever. They're talking about there's not going to be procedurally generated planets. That's not a thing, as was rumoured beforehand. Each planet is going to have roughly 2 zones, area that is the equivalent of 2 zones that was in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Didn't play it, I assume it's large, because it's Ubisoft and they make big maps. But you're taking away, all these different planets, all these things. You're taking away my choice. The choice is what makes Star Wars good. It's the running theme through the things. The choice to embrace darkness or to be the good guy, be the Jedi, be the hero, be whatever. And you're now basically telling us that this is the story that you're hoping is going to live up to the expectations. And Star Wars fans are feral. They are feral, rabid beasts that if you don't have this thing spot on, perfect, down to the most minute of canonically correct detail, they're going to be foaming at the mouth and biting at your ankles until you have to go to the hospital and get a shot. I may have run away with that metaphor a little bit. But it's an interesting direction to be going, to be saying that you're not going to be in 200 hours. But fair enough, I get that. Making it a little bit smaller. But you can't go so far the opposite direction that you give us a Jedi Survivor thing where it's only 20 hours and then we're done. I want to be able to play this. I want to be able to explore all the different things. And once again, there's the usual stuff of, oh, we're going to Tatooine again. Of course we're going to Tatooine. Have you ever heard of a more boring planet that is so key to a story? You know? It's sand, it's coarse, it's dry, and it gets everywhere. It's an important place. It's where Luke grows up. It's where Anakin grows up. It's where a lot of things kind of happen. So, let's go back there. And because it's out of the reach of the Empire or the Republic, it means that there's a lot of crime. Which is where this game kind of is the basis. The Hutts control it. And we're going underworld. Like, us playing in Tatooine, not a bad thing. You guys need to get over it. It's going to be in all the games. It's an important place. But this whole game is feeling odd, strange. I'm not entirely certain how I feel about it, apart from the fact Star Wars and I'll still end up buying it. But where are you going with this character? Where are you going with this game? You're making it a crime thing, but we're not getting to choose it. We're not bounty hunters, we're not smugglers, we just seem to be an outlaw on the run from it, but you're making us have to play through your story. You gotta get this right. And now you're telling us that the game's not going to be lots of hours and lots of planets. Again, there's so many planets. Clone Wars created so many stories in all these different planets. There's so many places that we can be going. There's so many places that we can be doing things. And if we had the choice to be doing stuff, you would have this big, amazing, fantastical game. Like, you've got show's success with Clone Wars. So showed all the different planets, all the different climates, cultures, and different places that you can fight. Battlefront, both the original Battlefront and the more recent ones, again, showed that it could be a lot of fun and what you could do with next-gen graphics in some of these planets. You got something like Knights of the Republic. It showed you that direction, that RPG elements, how you can do it between the light, the dark. Granted, it was all Jedi, but what you could do with other stuff. Some of the MMOs, like Star Wars Galaxies, which isn't so much around anymore. There's private servers, but the actual game itself is gone. Again, showed that you could play as a neutral to a certain point. It was there, it was fun. You get something like Star Wars Rebels, it shows you what it'd be like to be someone who's on the run from the Rebels. No, on the run from the Empire. And flying a ship, having a crew, trying to do heists and stuff, so you have a crime thing there. But the one thing you can't do in a Star Wars game is scale it back. There has to be a galactic scale. Because it's a galaxy far, far away. There's a lot of things that we should be doing. There's a lot of planets we should be on. And if you're going, we're going to go to only a few of them. They're going to be like this size in relative scale, of course. And tell us that also when you land there, this is what you're doing. It's taken away from the fun of it. That's not what I want. And from an open-end kind of Star Wars game, or open world, I was hoping for something closer to what I had in my head. A bounty hunter game that you can choose to work for the Empire, that can work for the Rebels, have to try and smuggle stuff, that in this zone there's not so much security, so you can do a job. But then the more you do, the more alert the Empire become. You can randomly just have Imperial security forces turn up. You have to have different members of the crew. You have to have a pilot. You have to have the muscle. You can maybe recruit Jedi because they're in hiding from the Empire. As the bounty hunter, you can maybe get a job that is, you know, a group of people gathering, going, help us, we're being attacked by bandits. Here's a bounty to go and kill the bandit leader. We can't pay you very much, but it's a hard job. Well, you can keep whatever's there. Interesting. You might also have a business CEO going, I want my rival taken care of. He has a few bodyguards and that's it, but I'll pay you very well. The jobs themselves should not reflect the payment or the difficulty. The payment shouldn't reflect the difficulty. That's what I mean, because that's not how it would be. This job might pay really well and it's piss easy. This one might pay kind of badly, but there's a decent look at it, but it itself is going to be quite difficult. But you can do whatever you want to. Kind of like Elite Dangerous if it's crossed with Star Wars. There's no actual main focus. You get to just go and be in Star Wars. But whatever it is my choice. That's what I get to do. And that's what a Star Wars game should be. A Star Wars game should be, let me pick. Let me pick, control what I want to do, and then just explore. and do a variety of things. I'm not saying I have to be able to see every single aspect of the fucking planet. Someone like Tatooine, it's mostly the dune sea, there ain't much there. But, you know, as a general vibe, just having a couple places and shrinking down how long it's going to take you to play is a little bit sketchy. And by having a character that's pre-made with a pre-done story is less exciting. Plus, you have to learn from what Jedi Survivor did. You have to. All right, let's be honest. Spoiler. The whole seer sequence, a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do. Absolutely no atmosphere at all to it. Like, it's supposed to be a tense scene. You're fighting Darth Vader with Seer. Except I know how this fight ends. Before I've even played it. Because Anakin Skywalker, this is his start point. This is his end point. We know how he started. We know how he ends. He ends on the Death Star at the hand of Luke / Palpatine. Who's this random? She ain't gonna touch him. Might beat him up a bit, but there's only one way this goes. It's exactly how it goes. You know what's gonna happen before it even happens. It's fun to do, but you know you don't win that fight. And they try to build up the tension. They have that dramatic shot. She like lunges in at him, and then it pulls away, and oh, she's been stabbed. Like, well, yeah, because we know how he dies. What kind of writing is that? You can't build up any kind of tension with that. We know that he fucking dies later on. He's not dead now. He's not going to lose that fight. Come on, do better. That's what I mean about Star Wars fans being feral. You need to get it on point. That's not so much like a glaring error. It's just a bit weird. Anyway, I'm mostly just rambling here. But yeah, I wanted to address this article. Like, yeah. Anyway, catch us there. Catch us on the stream. We're on tonight. If you see this and make this that far. Also, we're on just in general. So, hey, subscribe. Do the things. We'll see you then.